Good morning. This is Susan, and this is Susan's Ramblings. This is day 22, I believe, of our Garden Day vegetable recipes. The first one is squash pickles. You take the summer squash, either the small yellow summer squash, or you can use zucchini. You use sugar, vinegar, onion, of course. You use dried mustard and canning salt, ginger, turmeric, and water. And you combine your squash and your onions together, and then in a large kettle, you bring to a boil the salt, sugar, the canning salt, the ground mustard, turmeric, ginger, water, and vinegar, and you bring to a boil. Then you add your squash and cook it for 10 minutes. And then you pack it in the jars, leaving a fourth of a inch height space, and you water bath for 15 minutes. Oops, I'm sorry, 10 minutes. Some of these have different things. Okay, 10 minutes. Sweet sour cabbage. This is not a canning recipe. This is just a recipe to eat. But you use your cabbage. And notice it says 1.5 tablespoons of bacon grease. I would hope that all of you who have been making bacon, and I would hope that all of you who are following me, save your bacon grease. It's an easy way and a simple way to flavor your foods, especially beans or potatoes, or even your eggs. You can use it for any kind of shortening. With your bacon grease, your sugar, vinegar, and your cabbage. Salt and pepper. It can't get much simpler than that. You cut your cabbage into thin spots, into thin slices. And this you can make as much or as less as you want. I usually don't use the whole head of cabbage, and I usually cut it all the way down so I don't have that much left over. But anyway, yes, it can all be cut down. It might be a hassle to have 1/8 of a cup of sugar and 1/8 of a cup of vinegar, but it works out. Okay? Sweet and sour cabbage. It goes good with a lot of your German recipes. In fact, I'm assuming this recipe came from a German. Green bean soup. This is 2 pounds of pork, 2 pounds of fresh green beans, 4 to 6 carrots, 4 medium potatoes, and salt and pepper, and any vinegar. You notice most of these old recipes, and this is another old recipe. It was in a church. I found it in a church book recipe that was published in 1972, and that's almost 50 years ago, isn't it? And the author said then that it was a recipe that was handed down by a grandmother of German descent. And she said it can be made with canned beans, but the fresh beans are much better. So this is another recipe that's been handed down through the family, and for a long time. It has the vinegar in. I don't think many German recipes do not have the German vinegar in. It was a way for them to add flavoring without all the seasonings that we have now. Simple. You boil your pork for 1.5 hours, and then you add your beans and carrots. A few minutes later, you add your potatoes, and then you cook everything until it's almost done. Then you start adding vinegar. The vinegar is to taste, and the salt and pepper is to taste. Green bean soup. Harvard beets. This is one of the recipes I use a lot of times. Again, it's got vinegar in it. And I think it's got vinegar. Yep, it's got vinegar in it. And it's a way to do Harvard beets. I usually use the sliced beets. That's how I can them. I slice them. And that's the way I use them. This is an old recipe again. And I've been making it for years. I'm going to say at least 30 years. Probably longer than that. Okay, but at least 30 years. So all the recipes I'm giving you are basically old recipes They've been around for 20, 25, 30 years at least. And some of them, like I just said, gave you 50 years ago. Okay. Red pepper sauce. This is an easy one, and you can use it for many different things. You can even use it as a pasta sauce. And you use 4 tomatoes, 1 red bell pepper, garlic clove, olive oil, salt, and red pepper if you want. My stomach can't handle a little hot stuff anymore, so I usually leave the red pepper out, but it definitely you definitely can add it. You peel and you seed your tomatoes and set them aside. You roast your red pepper and peel it. Then you put all the ingredients in a food processor or blender and blend it into smooth. That's it. That's all you do. If you want to use this as a pasta sauce, you warm it gently. Or you can use it as a dip for shrimp, especially once you add the red peppers to it. Another easy one. It does take a little more time to prepare the ingredients, but it's worth it. The next one, summer squash relish. I've made this many times. I don't know if I'll be making it this year. I'm running out of jars, and I got my cucumber relish, and that's really about the. And I got my dill pickles. I got my chow. Got all that, so I don't think really I'll make these pickles, but I have made these pickles. And I also used this recipe with the zucchini. All these recipes are basically the same. They may change your seasonings. They might have a different kind of vinegar in them, but they're all basically the same kind of recipe. That's it for today. Day 22, I believe it is, of garden produce recipes. God bless you, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.